something else, of course, really spicy and delicious and thick. And no, this is not a hairnet, so you just hop along with me and see how this goes. Thank you. Uno, you know them, right? I have a knife and I am going to start by cutting my ingredients, which as usual, the first one is the onions. So okay, so I'm going to just put my meat over here. I'm going to bring it to boil. Oh wait. The same water you wash it with is the same water you boil it with, because you don't want to lose any of the iron. And I'm going to boil it with some chunks of ginger, which I just chopped up. Yeah, and oops. Yeah, I'm going to leave that for about maybe 20 minutes until it's just well, seasoned with the ginger. By the way, the point of the ginger is to make my meat a bit softer and also to bring in some of the flavor. So meanwhile, I'm just going to be cutting my other ingredients because I don't want to be wasting some time. You can actually just go sit down and watch some TV as your meat is boiling, but I like to put my time into good use, so I'm going to cut up all my ingredients right now. So when I'm cooking, it's just going to be really easy to go about the whole process. Okay, so as you can see, I'm in my last half tomato out of 3 medium-sized ones. And after that, I'm just going to also cut up my ginger. There are about 6 pieces from just 1 clove. Garlic, oops, yeah. Yeah, so this is garlic, kitunguu saumu. Yeah, then I'm gonna pound it up from the kinu namchi, if you know what I'm saying. So this is my last piece of the garlic, and after that I'm going to go to my carrots. Carotte. Sorry, it's carrots, yeah? Sorry, in French you say carotte. So yeah, I've already cut this into halves and then 4 strips, and then I'm just going to chop it up in the same way as the tomatoes. So I'm just about done with my carrot. And done. Okay, so I am taking off my bell pepper. Wait, this is such a voila. Yeah, so this is the last ingredient which I'm going to be chopping up. The other things that I'm going to be cooking don't really need chopping, but rather peeling. So as you can see, I've cut my bell pepper into strips, which, vertically, and now this is horizontally. I'm just going to chop them up into some fine cubes like that. Yes. Okay, so I am just about done chopping up nearly all my ingredients. I told you all that's remaining is to peel and maybe a little pounding of my garlic, which is right there. Yes sir, so I have all this here and I'm not gonna have a hard time cooking, so yes. So Chef Friend is gonna have to be sitting down for a few seconds while I peel my potatoes, which are going to be part of the stew. So in the meantime, this is what I'll be doing as I wait for the final touches on my boiling meat. So all my ingredients are now ready and chopped up, and my meat has also boiled enough, so I'm just going to sift out all the water, because I am not going to need water for me to fry it. I like to use this technique of, putting the lid and just leaving a little space for the water. Works really well. And as you can see, the meat is ready to go with the garlic chunks. That's why they needed to be small, because it's going to be really hard for you to take them out later. So now we can start the frying. Alright, so now that my meat is entirely dry, I'm going to add in some oil. Just a little bit. because you know we need our meat to brown before we even start cooking it. And trust me, in this case you're going to need a little bit more oil than usual. Doesn't hurt, you know. So we're going to let that brown. And in the meantime, I also have some peas here boiling, just with a little bit of salt so that they can become soft. And in here I have my 3rd tablespoon of flour, and this is about 1 tablespoon of curry powder. Get that all in because we don't want to waste. Then I have some cayenne pepper, and a little bit of black pepper, just a little bit. Oops, yeah, like that. I want to mix all my spices in before I even get them close to the meat. Then this is a bit of thyme. Oops, damn, I was so clumsy today. Yeah. And lastly, a bit of fennel, just a little bit of that. Yes, sir. So I'm going to give in all my spices a mix. And because we had some salt in the beef, that was about like half a teaspoon. I'm just going to get in another half teaspoon of salt in here. Comme ça. And give it another mix. So now all my spices are ready. The flour, you might be wondering what it's for, is to support the thickening, because we want a thick, rich beef stew, so that contributes to it greatly. So yeah, I would really advise for you to use flour for that. Not too much though. So my meat is about just enough brown. Yeah, I'm going to add in my onions now, which we already chopped long time ago. That's why I tell you to be prepared in advance. So yeah, I'm gonna let that all go in there, and then mix it. Wow. I just love onions. I don't know why. I love them in high quantities. Yeah, so this has been frying for just enough time. You know, it just needs to cook enough. And then at this juncture, I can actually add my tomatoes. Wait, this is bell pepper. Kind of confusing, you know? They're red. Amazing. As I told you in the former video of coconut fish curry, which if you haven't watched, you should go and watch right now. That is an amazing recipe. I usually put in my spices after putting in my tomatoes, and these ones have not been hand blended, so I'm going to have to cover it, as I told you, so that they can become pasty. But I'm going to have to put in my spices first. As you saw, I mixed in my spices with some flour, and this is how it looks now. There's a lot of spice in there, very beautiful. I'm gonna get that all in there, comme ça, and also mix it. When you're dealing with flour, it gets a bit complicated because you don't want it to form lumps. This is just supposed to help with the thickening of the stew, and it's going to look a bit like this in the beginning, but you know that it's gonna get pasty in just a few seconds. Then you have to mix it until you no longer see the white. You shouldn't really see the white, you should just see a beautiful brown color. I love the smell of all that spice in there. Wow. So I'm putting in just a little bit of water, about like, you know, a tablespoon, because this needs just a bit of moisture to get the tomatoes to become pasty enough. And after this, I'm just going to cover it. You see, it's becoming wet. Yeah, so I'm going to give that about 2 minutes actually, and this is going to be okay. You see, it's becoming, you know, more wet. Yeah. So this is my hand pounded garlic, which I am going to add into that. You can also add this while you're frying the onions. There is no order. Yeah, and then I mix it in. Looks really good right now. Now just a few steps remaining, which is number 1, to add my potatoes, and then my carrots. Awesome. Yes, and of course this is the broth that was used for the meat. It has some, you know, oil from the beef. That was natural fat. Yeah. I don't want this to become a light soup. I want it to become a thick soup, a nice thick soup. And of course I'll need to add more water because the potatoes need to also become soft. So I have about 500 ml of water over here. Okay, so we need to give this some time for the potatoes to absorb it, and if that won't still be enough, we can add the rest of the water later. And I'm gonna remain with just the final touches, which are added in the end, not right now. Oh yeah, and as this is boiling, the tomatoes are also going to melt down, because right now you can still see them. They're not supposed to be really visible in the food, but yeah, this is going to be just amazing in the end. And right now I'm also going to add some tomato paste and soy sauce. Bing! Soy sauce has a lot of salt, so be careful not to put too much of that. That is why when you're cooking with soy sauce, you're not really supposed to put any much salt into it. Oh. Nice. Just that is going to be enough because we already have our natural tomatoes in this, so we're not going to need much of that. Wow, you can already see the color coming through. Awesome, 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 awesome. Awesome. This smells amazing. This thickness is kind of like the one that we expect in the end, so I'm guessing I will have to add some water at some point because I need the potatoes to become soft enough. And I'm also going to add some turmeric because it brings in a bit of color, but not too much because I already have enough spice going on in here. Just a little bit of it. Turmeric is really good for literally everything. It's one of my favorites because I can use it for pasta. I can even use it on rice. It's just such a flexible spice, and I love it so much. Yeah, so I'm going to mix that. This looks so good already. It's just that the potatoes are not ready, bro. So that is all that's going to be remaining to it, and I'm going to bring that to boil for about 10 to 15 minutes. So these are the peas that I have just boiled with some salt and nothing else, and you have to boil them before because they take a really long time to boil, and the duration for this stew is not going to be enough for that. So I'm just going to pour all that in there, and again give it another stir. This is going to be the perfect beef stew. Oh my gosh. Alright, so that's it. Okay, so since dhania is one of the end spices, I can chop it at this point. And this is going to be a bit interesting. Wait, no. This is what's going on Ren's cuisine. By the way, everybody keeps on asking me how my name is pronounced. It's not Reni or Riene or Rain. It's Ren. It's supposed to be Ren because it means queen in French, but it is supposed to be Ren. Yeah, for the English people, because I cannot go around forcing Kenyans to pronounce Ren, you know. Yeah, so that is about it for everyone who's asking, calling me Reni, Reni's cuisine and all that stuff. I have just finished chopping up my dhania, which I will add as an end spice just towards the end of the cooking, together with my red bell pepper and of course some choosy mix, which I have there. Right, so my stew is just about ready. I'm going to use a simple technique to check whether my potatoes are okay. That is, you can use a fork or a knife. You just poke into it, simple. And if it's able to fall back with a yank like that, then that means it's almost ready. So at this juncture, I can now add my choosy mix. I like to add it at the end because that is just how it's supposed to be. And then I'm gonna put in my coriander, get that all in there. No wasting, people out there are, some world hunger and all that, so you're not supposed to waste. Then I can put in all my bell pepper. These are usually final ingredients, together with, any sort of pepper, green pepper, red pepper, yellow pepper, orange pepper, even courgette. Yeah, you put them in at the end. Wow, such a colorful stew. Oh my goodness. That was actually the final bit of my cooking. We're just going to give it about 5 more minutes because this is supposed to be an end ingredient, and the dhania is not supposed to cook for that long. It's just supposed to give out, some of the flavor. As you can see, it's really thick and nice and colorful. Oh gosh. Amazing. Wow. And we're going to be done in about 5 minutes. I have my rice almost ready. Just simmering for the final minutes. Then I'm going to cover this up and just wait. Bon appetit for us. And for the plating, I am just going to put this bowl-wise. Oh gosh, yes sir. Oh gosh, yes sir. Oh. Wow. And then I can have my stew, which is ready. And it looks amazing. Okay, don't try that at home. Holding your lid without, you know, like a glove or something. I am already used to hot things because I've been in the kitchen too long. Wow. Oh my gosh, wow. Get about 3 spoons of that to go around. Now, since my food is already Veggieful, you don't really need a salad, but a salad would be so appropriate right now. I'm just going to cut up some slices of tomato and side them up with some mayonnaise.